Hey ladies, alright, so I'm going to make a quick video to show you all how I actually cut my pads. This was a requested video, and I have to do some cutting today, so I figured why not. Alright, so first things first, I always use a rotary cutting mat. There we go, I got there in the end. I refuse to cut mine by hand with scissors because my hands would be falling off, and I have carpal tunnel after I got pregnant with my first child, there we go. And so I've had problems with my hands ever since, so this is the easiest way for me. I do have 3 different rotary blades. This one I use for my bamboo and thick layers that are just mostly straight because this one's really hard to do on turns. And I think this is like the 60mm, I can't remember. This one I use for when I'm making diapers, and I think it's a 45. And this is the one I use for my pads, actually cutting out the prints for the toppers and stuff. It's the smallest one that I can find, and I don't remember what size it is, so sorry. But it's the smallest one you can find, and you can find it at Walmart. Here's the print that I'm going to do. As you can see, here's my list, and I have a 10-inch flare that I need to do in this print. I've already traced it out, so I'm not going to worry about that. Here is what I use. It's just a regular Crayola washable marker. You are going to want the fine point tip because it makes your lines a lot crisper and it's not, you know, there's no marker all over the place. These are my paper weights, my pattern weights, there we go. These are vintage, they were my great-grandmother's, and they have this felt on the bottom so they can move around easily. They're not filled with sand like you see the ones now.
Mom,
what?
Is this Rikers or mine?
That's Rikers. And they're perfect. They came in a set of 6, but my daughter took off with one, and the other one's still in my box. Anyway, so this is what it would look like when I go to trace it. I've already traced it. And that's what it would look like. One thing I should mention is if you have to cut a print that's a really dark color, say something like this, and you're going to have a hard time with the marker actually showing, you can always use the other side to have your marker show up better. I do it all the time. That's a woven, and then this is a lycra, and lycra is usually always white on the other side. I don't think I've ever seen one not be white. So, and you can see the print well enough to know where it's being placed. Alright, so I'll just show you how I do my curves. I'm going to just cut this out really quick into a smaller piece for me to be able to handle. Okay, get that out of my way. So this is what I usually do. I cut it to where it's straight at the wings. And then, sorry, this is really weird, one-handed. Always make sure you unfold everything because I have actually cut through a print and then I'm not able to use it. So always just flatten everything out. Always wash your fabric before you cut into it. It's called a torture wash. You put it on the hottest temperature your machine will go. On like the roughest cycle, which is usually like a cotton cycle, and then you dry it in the dryer on the hottest heat. And the reason you do that is you want to get all the shrinkage done and over with before you go to cut into it. Okay, now there's a little trick that I actually do when I do this part.